Good morning, fellow people. Today is Monday, February 26, 2024. Here we are in Pahrump. And my name is Edward Bevilacqua. We are Department of Career Services, here to help you on your journey through life. We're here to help you acquire the skills, the tools, and the knowledge of how to use them in order to help you move from where you are, point A, to someplace better, point B, on your journey through life, through this world. That's it. And actually, it is kind of a big deal. We don't play a big part in it, but it is a big deal. We're only going to live this life one time. Who knows? Maybe we get reincarnated. Maybe the Hindus are right. Maybe the Buddhists are right. Maybe the Catholics are right. Maybe the Protestants are right. We don't know. Who knows? But we do know you will only experience this moment one time. As Heraclitus said, you can never step into the same river twice. Of course, he said it in Greek. But anyway, good morning, Matt. Good morning. Glad to see you here. All right, so we're here to help on the journey. Let's get started. Our daily meme. The meme for today is, what if you could brainwash yourself? Nope, that's not it. That is not it. That's the backup. We're going to talk about that. Thing is, what if you could wait for it? What if you could just wait for it? Okay, that is in the ink item down below, in the link down below. What if you could, three key words. We'll get to that a little bit later. So that's the meme for today. That's what we're going to talk about today. What if you could wait, rock and roll quotes, wait for it? What if you could do that? All right, so boom, let's go back, take a step back. What are we doing here? Overall perspective. So goal is better habits. Replace bad habits with better habits. That's how we progress on the journey. We have a two-part daily routine, right? Because how do you create a habit? By having good routines. What is a habit? A habit is unconscious behavior. How do you create it? By having a routine. So you do it. You know, how do you create a routine, or what's the thing of a routine? Repetition, 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 repetition. You fundamentally, basically train your brain to be able to do something without consciously having to think it through. That's why people practice. It's repetition. Why people are out there dry firing. Okay, so that it becomes, you don't have to think about it. Your body just does it. And to the extent you care about having it being perfect, your body will do it perfectly. So that's kind of the difference between Army riflemen or people who use firearms in the Army versus Navy SEALs. Both of them, it becomes a routine. Navy SEAL, it's a higher level of habit, higher level of non-conscious behavior. They can just fire at a target and hit it more often because they practice more at a higher standard. That's it. And why do they do that? What motivates them to do that? Because they get put in situations where people die, right? Typical Army infantryman isn't in a lot of situations where people die. I think the statistic is most infantrymen never fire their weapon. They're just ready to fire the weapon. And so there's this kind of balance. Well, they're never going to fire their weapon, so how much do we need them to practice? Versus a Navy SEAL, they probably are going to fire their weapon, so how much do we need them to practice? So we're going to use the bullets on the people who are going to need them the most. Anyway, that's that translates the same thing about habit for anything. So the goal isn't just to have a habit at a mediocre level. The goal is to have a habit at a higher level. Same habit, higher level. For example, brushing your teeth. It does become a habit. Why? Because it's routine. Why? Because we do it every day, or we should, and a couple times a day at least. So it becomes a habit. So when the second that the toothbrush hits our teeth, our brain can go somewhere else, be thinking about other things. We're brushing our teeth, right? Does everybody brush their teeth equally well? No. Some people do it better than others. I think Jordan Peterson would say there's a hierarchy of competence even amongst toothbrushers. Okay, so habit, routine, or repetition. Our program is a two-part daily routine. The stuff we do on air or on the podcast and the stuff we don't. And the stuff we don't do on podcast is 4 things. Preparation, so breathing exercise, something you probably should do first thing in the morning when you get out of bed or when you wake up. Instructions down below. Second is have an attitude of gratitude exercise. Probably you could do that in the morning, in bed also. Instructions below. Third, review of yesterday, an examination of yesterday. You could do that in bed too. Instructions below, and then project the day and move forward. That should be done after planning, not before. Don't project your day before you plan. And then the podcast is 3 parts. The daily theme, which today is what if you could wait for it? Daily theme, planning exercises, and then focusing on transformation. Transformation is in itself 4 parts of transformation: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. Because those are the 4 parts of you that you need to get optimized in order to optimize your journey through life. You have to be physically fit. What does that mean? Fitness and health, what you consume and what you do to keep your body in top physical condition. Fitness and health. Mental, always be learning. Always be learning. Become autodidactic. Emotional, if you can't control your emotions, don't worry, someone else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. Now, this happens to be an area where Matt is actually pretty good. Right, so Matt says an amateur practices until they can get it right. Professional practices until he can't get it wrong. Correct. So that's a good example of that. Thank you, Matt. And the spiritual is the most important part, because it looks like now that we have, since the 60s, began being better at bringing people back to life. In other words, not letting them just die. You know, first it was chest compressions, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, then it was electric stuff. Now it's a whole bunch of other things, chemicals, needle, hypodermic in the heart, stuff like that to get the body going. Now that we've done that, we've been able to see some of the beliefs that we had, and when I say we, I mean science, some of the beliefs that we had that are not correct. For example, brain cells are pretty hardy. They don't die in moments, in minutes. They go for hours. So the body can be resuscitated or brought back to life, not resuscitated, it's actually dead. So the requirements for death have been met. Heart rate, no brain activity, fixed dilation, no gag reflex, etc., etc. The person is dead and they're brought back to life. And intact, no brain damage. But the interesting thing is a large number of them report something happening during the time they had no brain activity, an extra outer body experience during a time when they had no brain activity. So how can you have memories of a thing that occurred when you had no brain activity? Aha. So that's the path Dr. Parney is going after from NYU, and it's becoming pretty compelling that something does happen after death. Aha. That means we know we're going to die, right? And if something happens after death, and what happens after death is directly related to what happened during life, wouldn't it make sense to live life in a way that provides the best possible afterlife experience? Right. So you can have it now. You can have the little pleasures of this life now. Be a greedy pig, greedy piggy boy. Get everything you want, doesn't matter. Act as if we are just atoms in the void. But if it turns out we're not atoms in the void and your behavior was not consistent or did not lead to a better result after life, then not good. And the idea being that if you do certain things during life, what you'll get this reward after life that you look back and say, wow, that was nothing. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid, right? So do you go slowly or do you just rip it off? So to be like, well, yeah, my life was like ripping off the Band-Aid really fast. It was painful, but you know what? It was only 100 years. And 100 years is nothing out of 1,000,000 years or 10,000 years. So, wow, boy, were those other people stupid. It looks like that's the way it's going. So that's the 4 parts. Let's now focus on planning, unless we're out of time. No, we're not too far out of time. Wadabevi, hello, Wadabevi. Glad to see you there. Glad to see you there, Wadabevi. So let's go back to planning. So the daily theme, once again, the meme. What is a meme? A meme is an idea that spreads from brain to brain. Our theme of today is what if you could wait for it? So that's the Inc. magazine, the Inc. article down below that is called Emotionally Intelligent People Use a Surprising 3-Word Phrase Based on Neuroscience to Take Action and to Not Give Up. Okay? How to not give up. Just tell yourself, wait for it. Say, Wadabevi, wait for it. You say that to yourself. You say your name. So it kind of makes your brain think somebody else is telling you to do it. So they're going to take what they say more seriously. Okay. Planning. So let's start with our routines. Got to be able to say something great is going to happen to me today. And you drive that into the ground. Something great. Pull it from up above. Well, pull it from up above. Something great is going to happen to me today, and drive that stake into the ground to the point where it is a incantation, not an affirmation, something that you are willing it to happen. You're actually click programming your reticular activating system. Let's see, always look on the bright side. Wadabevi told me she heard that on the radio and it actually made her feel good. Right, Wadabevi? Next, seek uncomfort. Don't seek comfort. Do not seek comfort. Seek uncomfort. Everybody's going for comfort. It's the little cheese that they put out for you. Forgo the cheese, get the reward. Seek uncomfort. Advice from an 80-year-old, be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. Right. Have your 3 simple goals for today. And 6 important things that you want to get done. I have a big day today, big meeting after 2 o'clock with someone very, very important. Someone very important. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Just thought about my meeting after 2. Hopefully Diana's going to be here today. She said she was. I'm going to be in court at 9 this morning trying to help one of our guys that's in there. And then what else? What else? Okay. I think we have to wrap it up for today. Yep, that's at 15. Water baby, smile, ghost. Smile and ghost. Okay, everybody. So thank you for being there. Thank you for keeping up your, I want to acknowledge your efforts to move forward in life, to create better habits by starting this, doing this routine. See what I'm saying? That my brain is thinking, well, see, Matt, I want to acknowledge you being here. I'm going to also encourage you, nudge you. You kind of have to do it every day. It doesn't become a habit if you do it some days. You got to get over that hump. You got to get over the, do I feel like getting on the thing today? Do I feel like setting my alarm? Do I feel like waking up? You need to turn it into, I need to be there. And then once you do it enough repetition, it becomes routine, it becomes automatic, autopilot. And then once it gets to that level, it then becomes a habit and you win. But you don't win when you're developing a bad habit. So the bad habit is sometimes I attend. Sometimes I attend. But anyway, I want to acknowledge you being here. Great, glad that you're here. Because if you show up, at least you have an opportunity to show up again. If you don't show up, the word again comes out of the equation. But let's say cut, because I've got to get on Peloton. 9 weeks straight. Haven't missed a day for 9 weeks, averaging about 240 miles a week on Peloton. I got to get up to no, not 240, 240 miles a month. Okay, and with that, Avita Zane.